Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Nidhi Taneja. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Thursday, the 13th of October. Brexit US elections may affect BRICS policies, says Indian Finance Minister. MQM London annuls membership of 4 members from Pakistan. And Indian fashion runway comes alive with vibrant and elegant collections. And now for all the details. Indian Finance Minister Arun Jaitley addressed a gathering of the BRICS group of emerging nations in Mumbai city. He expressed concern over a growing populist backlash against globalization and free trade that could have an adverse effect on the global economy.
Indian Finance Minister Arun Jaitley warned against dangers of protectionist tendencies in developed economies spreading to other parts of the world and hurting global growth. Addressing a gathering of finance officials of the BRICS group of emerging nations on Thursday, Jaitley's comments came days after the International Monetary Fund or IMF urged policy makers to support global growth by resisting protectionist forces.
There are trends in the world today which on the surface do indicate that the world is increasingly moving towards, at least that part of the developed world is moving towards protectionism. These worries are real. And they are real because of the fact that if developed countries see a trend of protectionism, the spillover impact of those policies on other parts of the world could be extremely adverse.
Jaitley singled out Britain's vote to leave the European Union as well as an aggressive campaign against trade deals in the US presidential election. Britain's vote to leave the European Union and Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's championing of America First are being seen as a part of a growing populist backlash against globalization, which critics blame for worsening income and social inequities. He also hinted at more liberalization measures to insulate the economy from global slowdown.
While apprehensions regarding the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC continue among the people of Gilgit-Baltistan, exiled Gilgit leaders worry that locals will be deprived of health and education and will become minority in their own land. A report.
For decades, people of Gilgit-Baltistan have been struggling at the hands of the indifferent attitude of the federal government of Pakistan. The construction of the much-publicized China-Pakistan Economic Corridor or CPEC has sparked outrage among the locals who fear that the project will lead to a heavy influx of Chinese workers and people from Punjab province, eventually making them a minority community in their own land.
Pakistani military does not have that kind of a right if Pakistan considers Gilgit-Baltistan as a UN-declared disputed area. So I think local people are rising, they're speaking openly against the misconduct of Pakistani government and the Chinese. And the Chinese should understand that it is not going to be a localized movement.
Activists from across the globe have expressed their concern over the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which they claim is exploitation of the region's rich natural resources, which would only benefit other Pakistanis and the Chinese. They say they will continue to raise voices till the rights of the local people and their existence are respected by the Pakistani establishment. Baloch activists also share similar cause with the people of Gilgit-Baltistan in addition to the atrocities on their people by the Pakistani establishment.
So I think we are entering into an era where the next maybe 15 to 20 years are very crucial for Gilgit-Baltistan, and the local demography is going to change very fast, and local people will not be able to claim Gilgit-Baltistan as their home anymore.
CPEC is a collection of projects currently under construction at a cost of $51 billion, which is intended to rapidly expand and upgrade Pakistani infrastructure as well as deepen and broaden economic links between Islamabad and Beijing.
News from Pakistan. The London chapter of Muttahida Qawmi Movement or MQM led by Altaf Hussain has expelled several key leaders from Pakistan. The MQM London announced that the basic membership of 4 Pakistan-based leaders has been revoked for violating party discipline. This comes days after it expelled Farooq Sattar, one of MQM's prominent leaders from Pakistan. However, MQM workers in Pakistan who pledged their allegiance to Sattar has rejected the order, stating that the London office has no say in Pakistan chapter's decision. Rift between the London and Karachi offices broke out after Altaf Hussain, who lives in a self-imposed exile in London, incited workers in Karachi to take up violence. Meanwhile, destroyed in war and abandoned for decades, the Darul Aman Palace in Afghan capital Kabul will undergo restoration. The project that was launched by President Ashraf Ghani is being pinned as a symbol for revival.
The ruined Darul Aman Palace in Kabul, one of the most recognizable symbols of Afghanistan's decades of war, is to be restored in a project that authorities hope will come to symbolize revival instead of destruction. The aim is an ambitious one, with Afghan forces fighting the Taliban insurgency across the country, Kabul regularly hit by suicide attacks, and the broken economy seemingly in no better shape than the bombed-out palace itself. The government hopes the site, next to the Indian-financed parliament, can become the center of a new government quarter as well as a tourist attraction. A team of over 100 young graduates, with 1/5 being female engineers, has been formed for its renovation.
اما بران آن در خانواده‌ای که نمیمانند و خانم‌ها یا دخترای خودانه که به تحصیل کنند. اولی که بهترین کاری است که تحصیل باید بکنن است که چون جامعه ما رو به پیشرفت است، رو به ترقی است. همیشه باید خود ما کوشش کنیم، دست به دست هم بدیم که کشور آباد شود. پیام ما است که بانن بگذارن تحصیل کنند، در یک جای کار کنند و این کشور را آباد بسازند.
Urban Development Minister Saadat Mansoor Naderi said requests for proposals would soon be issued, inviting foreign companies to bid for work on the project, which could cost up to $20 million, and officials had already sought advice abroad. The edifice was destroyed in the civil wars of the 1990s when fighting between rival militias killed thousands in Kabul. Its abandoned corridors, rooftops open to the sky, and the faded graffiti left by passing militia fighters have a ghostly feel as dusty sunlight streams in through cracks in the walls.
Students in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province were recently provided disaster management training. The topography of the region makes it prone to natural calamities.
At least 300 students from various parts of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir attended an awareness-cum-training program undertaken by the State Disaster Response Force or SDRF in Bhadetwa town of Doda district. The exercise is aimed at training local youth to ensure quick response in case of a calamity or disaster to minimize loss of human lives. The students appreciated the initiative and expressed the need for organization of such programs on a regular basis across all sections of the province.
आज का बच्चे जो एडवांस हैं, बहुत कंप्यूटराइज ज़माना है और बात को बड़ी अच्छी तरह कैच करते हैं और इंटरेस्ट भी लेते हैं। जहाँ भी हम जाते हैं बड़ा अच्छा इंटरेस्ट हमें रिस्पांस जो उनका है बहुत अच्छा मिलता है।
Jammu and Kashmir province is prone to many natural calamities due to its peculiar topography, rugged terrain and extreme weather conditions.
The Amazon India Fashion Week, one of country's most awaited fashion events, gave major fashion goals. From plain patterns to multicolored ruffles, the show had it all for fashion aficionados. Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Brexit US elections may affect BRICS policies, says Indian Finance Minister. MQM London annuls membership of 4 members from Pakistan. And Indian fashion runway comes alive with vibrant and elegant collections. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.